Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So, just recently, there was a big relationship scandal that went very viral. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. I didn't know who the two of these people were from Adam and Eve before all this went viral. Apparently, an internet personality by the name of Miss Nikki Baby and her boyfriend, who's a basketball player by the name of LiAngelo Ball. Now, this relationship exploded all over the internet because allegedly this man had been dating this woman for some years. Apparently, 3.5 years is what she alleged. And they have two children together. She just had her second kid for him just a couple of months ago. Her first kid is 1 year old, if I'm not mistaken. Her second child is only a couple of months old. This is them, or this was them apparently. And then she took to the internet after people saw him being involved with somebody else to say that she went from this with him to him going to this, if you get my drift. That he basically left his family for another woman who he may have actually been seeing while he was still in a relationship with her, allegedly. Once again, she's alleging that he abandoned her and their family. And I quote, decided to walk out on their family, saying that basically he left her and their kids that she just had for him for his side piece, essentially. Now, the bad thing about these kind of situations is that it very quickly turns into a he said, she said situation. I get that we don't have all the details. We haven't heard everybody's side of the story. People do like to remind everybody, okay, well, this person got onto social media first and they said this. This is from their perspective. This is their side of the story, whether it's right or not, whether it's the truth or not. Hear everybody else out. Although we can all agree that if you created a whole family with somebody, if you stuck around, impregnated somebody's daughter 2 times, you done been around her, y'all done been, taking up each other's time, you're taking up that person's time, and then you just ditch her for some other chick, that's unacceptable. At the same time, when you're not married to a man, this is the kind of things that they will do and then justify. I'm not saying that she deserved to have him walk away, although I'm saying that this era of laying up and having kids for a man that has not committed to you, that doesn't think enough of you to marry you, but is attracted enough to you and lustful enough towards you to screw you and give you babies, that era needs to stop. There's no obligation, unfortunately, to you if he's not your husband. Again, it's not right to do that to somebody's daughter. You done already made 2 babies with her. You're in a relationship with her, reaping all the benefits of being with her. I know you're enjoying screwing her. So why you want to walk away and go get with some other woman now? But again, when you do not put your foot down and say you will not impregnate me or screw me unless you marry me first, get that commitment. He has no obligations. It's messed up, but it's also the truth. That's what a lot of these women really got to understand and wrap their heads around. No commitment, no obligation. It doesn't matter how many years you spent with him, how many babies you gave him, how much you care about him, how much you bend over backwards for him. It's not right. Once again, let me keep saying this because somebody's going to justify somewhere, oh, well, you're saying that he deserved to be able to walk away from her. She deserved this because she didn't put her foot down and decide either you're going to marry me or we're going to break up and I'm not going to let you give me multiple babies for you to walk away from me and, not help me with. Again, this doesn't justify it. But when we put ourselves in bad positions because of bad decisions, there are unfortunate consequences we're still going to have to deal with even if we don't deserve it. She posted on social media a few things, one of which, and I quote, "We were just happy and planning family photos. I'm beyond blindsided by this whole thing. The ultimate betrayal is not even the word." End quote. She's talking about how she is hurt and betrayed, that he done walked away from her and the family. Meanwhile, he happy in his own world. This is why people say, as a woman, you must be careful to not over-exaggerate what you mean to a man in a relationship. That's one lesson we can take away from this. There's an interview that they sat down and had with Jason Lee. This was about a year ago. They talked about a lot, but one of the main things that he brought up that caught a lot of attention, that kind of went viral, was him posing the question about marriage, him bringing up how both of their parents were married. He said, both of y'all have experience with this. y'all's parents are married for both of y'all, and y'all have, this situation going on, is marriage in the future? Do you plan on getting married? And his response told me everything I needed to know about him. He said, oh yeah, me and her talked about it. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. It'll happen in the future. And then she looks over to him and smiles somewhat nervously, but almost like trying to impress upon him. And then says, oh yeah, within like the next 2 or 3 years. And then he responds, we've talked about it. It'll happen, in the future. Like I said, that interaction showed me everything I needed to know. He had no intentions on marrying her, and that was basically his way of saying it. Again, if you've been in a relationship for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 plus years, and they still have not committed to you, they're not going to. They're reaping the benefits of you caring about them, doing more for them in the relationship than they ever will for you. And really, you're just a placeholder, a bed warmer. If the person who they really want never comes along, they'll just continue wasting your time and using you because you're going to stay. You wouldn't put your foot down and tell them to either treat you right or you're leaving. And then if the person that they really want does come along, they're just going to dump you and then go be with them. Which is wrong. It's disgusting. It's messed up. Although, unfortunately, it happens all the time. We're just seeing it in real time happen to internet personalities, celebrities. People are revisiting these moments, these videos, like this one person on YouTube who then also posted, and I quote, he told her to her face he had no intentions to commit to her. Shaking my head, I knew from this moment he would never stick around, end quote. And also it's messed up because in the same interview, she talked about the thoughts racing in her head, how she felt, because she actually lost quite a few people up to this point. There was a lot that she dealt with involving losing people in her life and how it was affecting her. And then he goes and does this. It's really malicious and messed up how somebody will see that you have gone through stuff, be with you while you've gone through it, and then put you through more by doing something like this. 2 other things that bothered me during this interview. One, I didn't like how people were, trying to be disrespectful or rude by saying, oh, listen to how heavy she's breathing, how hard she's breathing. The woman was pregnant. If I remember correctly, she was 8 months along. How well do you expect a woman who's carrying an entire child in her womb to be breathing while sitting down? I don't understand that. And this goes back to how society treats women, pregnant women, and mothers. Another thing that kind of caught my attention, when Jason Lee brought up their age gap, they're 8 years apart. Allegedly, if I'm not mistaken, he was 24 whenever they did that interview. So he was in his mid-20s while she's in her early 30s. Well, people have to understand whenever you are dating somebody that's in a different age frame by either a decade or almost a decade, y'all are on 2 different playing fields. There are some 20-something-year-olds who do have a level of maturity that even 30, 40, and 50-something-year-olds don't have. There are some 20-year-olds who are ready for marriage. They are ready to settle down and commit, but a lot of them are not. So you're in your 30s, you're in a different part in life than somebody in their 20s are. Now, I'm not trying to say she was also horrible for dating him being 8 years older than him, because he's like, 24, like I said? Probably 25 now. So he's not a child, he's a grown behind adult, but still you can tell he had no intentions of settling down. He didn't have a do-right mind when it came to relationships and marriage. I know she wanted to be with him, but unfortunately this is a risk that you run whenever you are involved with somebody who's not at an age where their frontal lobe cortex, as some people have been saying on social media, is not developed to the point where they're using common sense. Again, they have a do-right mind. And even some of them with the cortex developed, they still be making dumb decisions. Again, there should be no excuse for him being in his mid-20s even. But unfortunately, we have to be mindful of these things. I'm not saying that he's how all young men in their mid-20s act. I'm just saying this pattern. There's a pattern. There are some exceptions, but observe the pattern and be cautious. Act accordingly. Now, the alleged mistress, who might actually be pregnant, allegedly, had some things to say. Her name is Rashida, I'm assuming also an internet personality. Now, this young woman took to the internet, I guess, because she was upset because people were dragging her for filth, basically saying, oh, you're a home wrecker. How can you do this? You do understand that how you gain them is how you lose them. So if you were messing around with this man while he was in a relationship with this woman who you knew she wanted to be with him, you knew she wanted to be married to him, and then you then broke up this relationship, which the accountability ought not all be placed on her. It should be placed on Gelo as well. Both of them need to be thrown under the bus, because just like she, y'all know I have to say allegedly, right? Allegedly, she came in between them. He also decided he was the one in the relationship with the two babies with the woman who he had, thinking that eventually he was going to marry her, even though he subtly told her he had no intentions. He was the one who got up and decided to walk away from her and their family to go and mess with this other woman. Now, the alleged, y'all know I have to say alleged, right? Homewrecker, Rashida Nicole, got onto the internet, made a whole video talking about how she's tired of people playing victim on the internet. She's basically trying to make it seem like Nikki is playing like she's the victim. And I'm trying to understand, wrap my head around, how is she playing the victim when allegedly, and from what it can very well be seen, and from what it allegedly is apparent, you were the other woman. He left his family for you. Now, like I said, she's trying to make it seem like there's more to the situation than what's being put out there. And this is what I was talking about by how these situations really quickly turn into a he said, she said situation. Now, she's out here alleging that people don't know what they're talking about, that their eyes are clearly deceiving them, that we don't know all of what's going on behind closed doors, insinuating that she's done something, that Nikki has done something that she's not putting out there because she just wants her part of the story out there, and is creating a narrative to make her look bad. Then threw out more information, well, not information, allegations that the woman is racist and that she don't watch her kids. To which Nikki responded, the only person who doesn't watch the kids is the baby daddy that then walked away from them for her. So like I said, now the waters are all muddy. Once again, what it seems apparent to everybody is that this man has left his family and the woman who he built a family with for his side piece, if you will. And the reason why people keep saying we're not going to let Rashida off the hook is because we think you were messing with him while he was still in the relationship with this woman, because allegedly she may be pregnant, which again would insinuate that she was messing around with him before they ended up breaking up, that she was messing around with him while they were possibly still in a relationship together. That's why nobody's trying to hear her making it seem like Nikki did something that led to this, or that there's more to it that people don't understand, or that there was a reason for why he did what he did to justify what he did. And even if Nikki did something that was not right, or something that was unacceptable, and he decided, girl, I'm leaving you for the side piece that he shouldn't have had to begin with, which, make no mistake, would have still not made it right, the optics are still looking like he left his family and his long-term girlfriend for his side chick. Now, another rebuttal that Rashida alleged is that Nikki was messing around with Floyd Mayweather. That's what she alleged. Y'all know I have to say alleged and claimed. Like I said, I don't know if that's the truth or if she's just putting that out there to make it again acceptable or justifiable for Gelo to have left her, but it's still not right. She even had the audacity to be like, oh, I'm sorry, Floyd, for putting you out there like that. I didn't mean to, draw attention to you, while she's drawing attention to him. Now, some people, I guess, lost respect or empathy for Nikki whenever Rashida made those racism claims. Like I said, these are allegations. I really hope she didn't do that. Although at the same time, considering what has happened, considering the fact that we don't exactly have proof of that yet, again, he said, she said, it's a social media battle now. I don't think it's really fair to just take one side because of what somebody said and, go against somebody who right now is quite clearly suffering, dealing with being betrayed, on top of all the other stuff that she's had to deal with up until this point. I'm not saying just ignore it all if she did. There's a time and a place to deal with that in and of itself. But I don't think it's fair to dig up stuff that has nothing to do with the situation, again, to get all of the accountability off of your back whenever you were really in the wrong. I'm talking about Rashida. Once again, I always like to take away from these situations what can we learn type of thing. What can we learn from this situation? If somebody is showing you, again, by wasting your time, I don't care what anybody says, it does not take 3.5 years for a man to know if he wants to marry you or not. There are men who have married women within months, and they've admitted years after the fact, oh yeah, when somebody questions them about it, whenever I first met her, after about the first week or so, I knew I wanted to marry her. I was attracted to her when I first saw her. I was like, oh my gosh, she's very good looking. I got to get to know this woman. But then after getting to know her, after a couple of months, I was like, I'm going to make this woman my wife. They know who they want. They know who they want to commit to. They know who they want to spend the rest of their life with. Although they will waste people's time if you allow them to. You've got to understand, I don't care how much you care about them, how much you think you love them, how good they look, how much time y'all done spent together, again, how many babies y'all done had, how far backwards you done bent over for the guy. They will stand and smile right next to you in all of them baby shower photos and all them photo shoots, knowing good and doggone well they have no intentions of putting a ring on your finger, and then when somebody else who catches their attention comes along, walk right out of your life. This goes back to whenever people show you who they are, how they really feel about you, believe them the first time. It's going to be painful. Yeah, you might have some crying days and some weeping nights, but pick yourself up, talk to God about it, give it to God, and then move on with your life instead of wasting time with somebody who you care about more than they will ever care about you, because they have character issues. They have integrity and dignity issues. They don't know how to value you in their life. And the sad part about this is this exact situation has happened too many times for us to act like we don't know that this could happen. To all the young women out there, even if you're not young anymore, if you're not married, you're in a relationship, if he's showing you signs that he has no intentions of being with you, if he's saying, hey, let's go lay down in the bed, let's do this, let's have a baby, but then when you ask him where the ring at, and then it's crickets, or he gives you that same response that Gelo gave whenever Jason Lee asked him about it, you need to walk away, because that's not a man who wants to commit to you and treat you right, be a provider and a protector. That's a man who wants to waste your time and then break your heart. And they won't care because you care more about making the relationship work and not being mature in the moment, telling your feelings to subdue themselves and understanding that this is not a relationship that's going anywhere, and then you walking away. They don't care. They don't have an attachment that you do to the relationship. You got to realize you got to be mature for yourself and make the right decision. Anyways, I could go on and on, but I really do hope people learn from this situation. It's painful. It's messed up. Although, like I said, we can learn from it. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below. Respectfully, don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.